My name is Gabe Zollner. You remember John Corzine? Yeah, he was like, a senator. Yeah, Democratic senator. Yeah. And then he ended up giving up his Senate seat when he was made governor of New Jersey. New Jersey. I think New Jersey and Chicago have a lot in common. You know what I mean? Like Illinois. They're both gangster-ridden. Anyway, I wonder what's going on with Corzine. After he left being governor, he became CEO of FM Global, Inc. Amazingly enough, $1.6 billion of customer money vanished. You ever see a picture of John Corzine and his wife? Looks like his daughter. But hey, listen, if you got bread, you can have somebody like that hanging on your arm. He needs to be investigated. You know what I mean? I mean, the guy's not working, I don't think. He's not at the local gas station pumping gas. $1.6 billion is a lot of green that sort of disappeared. I wonder how much of that stuck to his fingers, It's amazing how they get away with crime after crime after crime. You know who took his slot when he left the Senate? Yeah. Well, the guy that's being investigated now for having sex with underage little prostitutes, 15, 16-year-old girls. Yeah. I'm talking about Bob Menendez. What's interesting too about him, his daughter, very attractive girl. But, she was all over when other people got investigated for, like, sexual stuff, you know what I mean? Like Spitzer, remember Spitzer? He hired a prostitute. He got nailed. I think Menendez is going to get nailed, too. Just a matter of time. But I think we need an investigation on Corzine. Yeah. I think, they got to take a look at his finances, how's he sort of living? That young chick ain't going to hang around with an old fuddy like him unless he's got a lot of green. You know what I mean? And 1.6 billion is a lot of green. I don't care who you are. I mean, I'd even date the guy for that kind of coin. You know what I mean? Well, not really, because I'm not that way. But, I'm just saying. It's a lot of money. These guys are all corrupt as heck. I mean, it's unbelievable. And you know whose slot Bob Menendez slid into? Yeah, that Kerry guy, Secretary of State, John Kerry. Now that's got a nice ring to it, doesn't it? He can't be any bigger of a bozo than Hillary Clinton was. I mean, she didn't do anything worth anything. Well, that's not true. She gave hundreds of millions of dollars to the Palestinians. But I think that Huma Abedin had something to do with that, Anyway. I think it's a joke. Hillary's going to run for president in 2016. The woman's had two blood clots. Now, if you go call an insurance company and say you want a life policy, they'll tell you, well, if you had one blood clot, yeah, we'd sort of consider. But two, game over. Now, why would the American people consider someone that's had two blood clots when an insurance company won't give them a life policy? And we're going to put her in the Oval Office? We got a nightmare there right now. It's a joke. Speaking about a nightmare, the vice president, Biden baby, he had a brain embolism. You know what a brain embolism is? It's like a weak vein in the brain. This is like a vice president. I mean, it's insane. Bozo picked him because the guy was incompetent, and he's proven to be incompetent. But, I mean, he's got a hand grenade between his ears. So does Hillary. Hillary had a blood clot in her brain. She had one in the leg, then she had one in the brain. And they're going to consider her for president? This country's... it won't matter, because we're not going to be here in 2016 at the way Bozo's going at it. You know what I mean? He's going to take us out probably relatively soon. There's so much heat on him now with Benghazi and everything else. He's going to let Janet Neapolitano know that it's time. let's start using some of that ammo. You know what I mean? Them hollow pointers. Yeah. It's going to be interesting. A lot of us are going to get slaughtered. But I guess the good news is, unless they surprise us at night, like with a Hellfire missile through the window, we're going to get some of them as well. That's all I can say. Anyway, investigating John Corzine won't matter, because nobody cares. And that's just how it is. Nobody cares. All they care about is what they've got today. They don't care about tomorrow. They don't care about their children, and they don't care about their grandchildren. And that's especially true for our elected representatives. All they care about is themselves. Pretty sad, isn't it? I think it is. What do you think?